broadcasting live from the beautiful Georgia Aquarium Ballroom in downtown Atlanta for the Women in Technology Women of the Year Awards 2019. Here's your Business Radio X host.
Lee Cantor here, broadcasting live from the Georgia Aquarium for WIT's Women of the Year 2019 Awards. And I got with me DK Rogers, one of the VIP sponsors here from Cox Enterprises. Welcome.
Thank you.
And then Bernie Dixon, a legend in Atlanta. Legend. See, that's better than VIP sponsor.
Oh, that's impressive.
With Launchpad doing such amazing work here in town. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. We're glad to be here.
All right, DK, I'll start with you, VIP sponsor. Why is it so important for Cox to come here and be a VIP sponsor of this event?
Because Cox invests heavily in their employees, and their employee base includes women, of course. And we believe in building the pipeline of women in STEM fields within the Cox Enterprises umbrella.
And then, Bernie, for you, being the founder of Launchpad, WIT, they go hand in hand, right?
We do, yeah. We're doing some partnerships with WIT at Launchpad 2X. We develop women tech founders into women tech CEOs of large enterprises.
Now, Bernie, tell us about your view of the world for women in technology. Like, I know at Launchpad, the success rate for Launchpad for women is much higher than the national average of women entrepreneurs. So something magical is happening over there.
Absolutely. We've graduated about 175 companies so far in the last 5 or 6 years, and huge success rate. They're growing at 200% on average every year. We've had 9 exits of these companies, and there is some secret sauce. There's a lot of an ecosystem, there's a community that's built, but the important thing that we that we actually bring out in our companies is that sense of confidence and that women actually belong in technology. We're here, we're making an impact, and we belong.
And like the national average of women women-owned businesses that make over $1 million is what?
Only about 2 or 3% will go over $1 million. At Launchpad, we've got about 35% of our companies that have gone over $1 million in 3 years, and we're counting on all of them doing that.
So now, is Launchpad only here in Atlanta, or is that a national program?
Well, we are here in Atlanta now. We were founded in Atlanta in 2012. The idea here is we've had such a great success. It was a little experiment at first, and we've had such a great success that we're now launching more regionally and intend to go national as soon as we pick up a few national sponsors to help us.
Now, what was the idea, what was the catalyst and the genesis of the idea?
You know, I had a corporate job as an IT executive. I was running a business for HP many years ago, and I realized at that point that there weren't a lot of women running tech companies in Silicon Valley. And I made this little mental note to myself that if I ever got out of this corporate situation, my corporate adventure. If I ever left it, I would actually do something to move the needle for women. I didn't know what it was. When I did have the opportunity to retire out of HP, I started an investment group to invest in women, and I realized that it wasn't necessarily money that women needed when they're early in their careers. What I realized was women needed this confidence. I was hearing this, we're just a startup. And they were being very demure about their goals and aspirations. And I wanted them to get a little bit more swagger on. And so I started Launchpad 2X to help them, educate them on, hey, this isn't as hard. Guys are doing this, and let me tell you how it's being done. And so we started in 2012 with 13. I had to beg people to come year one.
Right.
And by 2019, we've now graduated 175 companies.
Now, what's the most rewarding part? Is it seeing the idea through fruition, like the dream of what it could be, and then seeing the success? Or is it kind of the look on their faces when they are, they aimed higher than they dreamed, and then it's coming true?
Well, I hear a lot of stories. First of all, I never thought that it would be so satisfying for me at this stage of my life to see these women. But it is jazzy to see them being successful, to see their faces light up when they get a $2 million contract from the city, when they reach a contract with GE, when they actually deliver on something and form a partnership, or they're selling their company. And, it's a great sisterhood now among the Launchpad companies, and that's very fulfilling for me to see. But actually, when I see them together and the economic impact and their personal growth is just very rewarding. I mean, the economic impact to the Atlanta area is about $1 billion from these companies.
Right. It's kind of making a difference.
It is, yes. Yes, they are. A big difference.
So now, DK, when you hear stories like that, how does that make you feel?
It makes me feel excited. I spoke to a group of young ladies this morning, and as I was speaking, I started to realize that 25 years ago, there weren't many of us out there.
Right.
And the thing about it is a lot of people left technology because the workplace wasn't ready for women,
right.
25, 30 years ago. And so I'm just excited to see that women are still pushing through and still wanting to be in STEM fields, and just encouraging young women to stick with it. No matter, some obstacles that may get in their way, it's still worth it. And it's come a long way, and it has a long way to go. And just to meet Miss Dixon as well today was just exciting, because she's doing so much to move the needle on the productivity level. I mean, we're in corporations, but we're not owning our own businesses. And so it's inspired me just sitting here next to her today to see her move the bottle forward, or the ball forward, to actually get women into owning their own companies and building the confidence to, get out there and be successful.
This is important for corporate women too. When women in technology, if they're not at the table, important things are getting missed when women aren't at the table. Whether it's in product design or a sales function or a cost analysis, if women aren't at the table, things get missed. And when women are more than half of the consumers and 80% decision makers in products and services these days, these products and services need to appeal to women. And so women need to be at the table technically to help drive these companies as well. So this isn't about just starting your own company. This is about having an impact inside of these organizations. And so many times women are told they can't do something, or they don't do it well. And what we teach in Launchpad is not that at all. It's like, we're doing something right. Mm-hmm. We are here and we're making an impact, so let's recognize it. So we should also thank WIT, because I get asked so many times how to get more women in technology. That's like a standard question we all get asked. And my answer is, well, first of all, let's recognize that women are already in technology. We're making a difference. And beyond that, it's an important message to recognize women that are in technology, because if you recognize them, you send a message to those women who are still making a decision about their career. And they're making a decision. And if you say we're being recognized, these women are making an impact, it makes them feel okay to choose a tech career. It's like women now belong in technology.
Right. And at some point there is a disconnect for young women, young girls that are saying there's a fork in the road at some point where they're deciding, they're self-selecting out, even though they're consumers of technology, but they have to believe that it's possible. They have to see role models doing it and hear their stories and kind of show the young person the path. Look, this is possible. You can do what you dream of, and here's how to do it. Here, you don't have to make these 5 mistakes that I had to suffer through.
Yes.
There are people out there that will give you kind of the clues and the shortcuts, so you can kind of cut the line and get ahead and not have to kind of pay the price that you ladies have paid.
Well, it's always nice to tell the next generation that. I'm not sure they all want to hear it, but just having women around makes them feel comfortable and okay to be there. We can't always teach them lessons. We can't always say, don't do this, because sometimes they're going to, like telling your teenage kids not to do something. Well,
right, but to have a safe environment that people can show you the ropes, that's extremely valuable. And to have a person to contact and go, look, I don't know how to ask this question, or I feel uncomfortable, negotiating my salary or something. Now you can go to somebody and say, look, this is how you do it. This is how I did it. It's possible.
Yes, that's for sure. And I think mentorship is where that is evident, is that all young women need is mentors. And it's not just female mentors, even male mentors can help pull women along in the workplace. I mean, I know that is one of the things that have made me successful over the last few years. Is you mentioned earlier negotiating your salary. I remember being lowballed and knowing I was lowballed and having the confidence to just hold out and make your counter offer and just sit back and relax. And so with that, I wouldn't have been able to do that if I had not had a mentor to kind of coach me along the way. And that's how we move the ball forward.
And it's like Bernie, you were saying that a lot of what you're doing is helping them have the confidence and almost giving them permission to push back and to say, look, this is what I'm worth. This is what I want.
Yeah, we bring out their confidence. We give them some tools. I teach a negotiating class. I teach two different negotiating classes. One is how to get your piece of the pie, and the other is a win-win negotiating class. We teach them how to negotiate with investors. We teach them both sides of the equation, the entrepreneurial side and the investor side. And we teach them what a term sheet should look like. We actually teach them, we go through some situational learning where we put them in situations that CEOs of $100 million companies are facing, and we walk them through potential solutions to those issues. So it's nothing that, it may be things that they haven't been exposed to before, but it isn't anything that they don't know already. It's allowing them to use their skills, their gut feel, and information to get to the next level. And we actually allow them to set high goals. You know, a lot of women say, I'm just a startup. We tell them to say, I'm CEO of my company.
Right.
A lot of them say, well, you know, we're going to increase sales next year. We teach them to say, I'm going to be $20 million in 3 years. So it's a different way of looking at your company and a different way. And it's okay now that you see other women in class with you having these aspirations and goals and are going through the same thing you are as a female and managing their family, their church, their community, their other company work, the kids, you know, everything in their life that goes together. There's no balance. Obviously, there's no balance in this life. You just do whatever you need to do.
It's a blended life, right?
It's a very blended life.
There you go.
Yeah. I like the fact that you mentioned the words that you speak, and that's one of the things even I teach my children is that you have to speak life into your life. And so your words actually will kind of dictate your path. So if you say negative things, then you'll have negative results. If you say positive things about yourself, then you'll also have positive results.
Yes,
so
you're driving the momentum towards the positive side. If you see yourself as just a startup, you're going to be a startup all the time. If you see yourself as a $20 million company, you might just get there.
Right. You gotta be able to believe it in order for it to happen.
Yeah. You know, a lot of times we say it's not just having confidence, it's your ability to project your confidence that's important.
Right.
Most companies, we look at investors and how they value companies. The single most important factor to a company's valuation is the CEO. Mm-hmm. And if you're not projecting confidence as a CEO, it's going to impact the valuation of your company. And the same for you. Could you imagine the CEO of Cox who's not confident in what their quarterly results are going to be? You know, you've got to be able to speak confidently about your company.
And that's a mental shift for some people, right?
Yeah. Well, you know, granted, some people have been beaten down and told they couldn't do things. And once we put them in an environment where they're introduced to the fact that other women are doing this and have done it, and that by going through a program like Launchpad 2X, you actually increase your chances of being successful by 30 percentage points, actually. We also teach a play-to-win business strategy, which is aggressive business actions, which is, you know, getting in gear to win, doing what it takes. We have a whole module on playing to win, and that changes the mindset that if you're just in the game to play and just have a company, that's fine. But if you want to be 20 million or more, you better play to win. You know, you got to be aggressive and step out. And so when we can give them some tools and some key phrases and some negotiation tactics and some aggressive business strategies, then they're on the way to winning.
That's where the magic happens.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations on all your success and good luck this evening as a finalist. And if somebody wants to learn more about Launchpad 2X, what's the website?
Oh, yeah. Please join us, launchpad2x.com. We have a core program once a year. We have monthly workshops, and we've got Women's Entrepreneurship Day coming up in November.
Good stuff. And DK, Cox Enterprises, VIP sponsor, tell us about what you expect out of this evening.
I expect to be engaged by some dynamic women in technology. I expect to learn a lot, as I have with Bernie here today. I expect to meet some people and network, and I expect to tell people a lot about Cox Enterprises. We can be found at www.coxenterprises.com. We are a company that invests a lot in our employees, and we look forward to being maybe not the next Google, but an employer of choice for women in technology in the future.
I'm sure Bernie can help you. So now, being VIP sponsor, that's a big commitment.
Yes.
And it's important work that's happening here. Now, what are some of the things that you're doing together with WIT?
Cox, actually, our CIO, Greg Morrison, is on the board at WIT. And so he is invested in not only WIT, but the women in technology within Cox Enterprises. And so Cox puts their money where their mouth is. They not only talk the talk, but they also will pull out a checkbook and write a check for things that they believe in, and they believe in women in technology.
And thank you so much for your support.
Thank you.
All right, this is Lee Cantor. We will see you in a bit at WIT's Women of the Year Awards 2019.